Hey everybody, welcome back to Life at Lakeside Unedited. I'm hoping that you can hear me. I don't have a mic set up right now. So welcome to our garden day. We're very excited that today is the day. I wish it was a little bit less gray and cloudy and let's stay home and be cozy, but it is what it is, and at least I'm not even going to say it. You know what? I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm going to jinx it. But I wanted to get you guys started off with, hopefully you're going to come in and see us later. You're going to come in and see or hang out with the Del Mar Library for their story time. You're going to check out the kids' crafts. You're going to check out the free kid goodies giveaways. You're going to check out our hot dog lunches. You're going to get some raffle tickets and take the tour and try the succulent swap. But for now, we're going to start off with this planter demo. So I've actually got two things that I want to do for you because last year went kind of quick. Unfortunately, this way, since you're not here, you can't ask me questions directly. It's just not as good as in person. So that is a disappointment, but you'll just have to come in and ask me later. So this is the first one that we're going to do. This is our first planter. Mixed planter. This is an ornamental planter, and it is for full sun. So we're going to start out. This is a 12-inch pot. You see I've already got my soil in there. I've got it nice and watered in. And I've got, that's for the other one later. Put that aside so I don't keep trying to grab it. I've got all of my plants picked out right here. So one of the things that we get a lot is, how do I pick the plants that I want? Well, to start off, you want to think about your placement, the colors that you want, and the shape that you want. So placement-wise, you want to think about how much light you're going to get throughout the season. Remember that we're going to get a lot more sun, a lot more heat later as the summer hits and then goes on and on and on. Sorry, I work outside. Summer's rough around here. So remember that your plants are outside all day too. They don't get to go to the pool with you. So they are going to get all that sun and heat, and you want to make sure that you are meeting their light requirements or their shade requirements, vice versa. You also want to think about your care level in that. So is it going to be someplace that you can actually get to it and you're going to be able to, I'm hoping you can hear me. Please guys, let me know if you can't hear me. Are you actually going to be able to care for them regularly, or do you need something that's a little bit more low maintenance? Is it something that you can get out to regularly and you don't really care if it's low maintenance or not? All things to consider. Next, you want to think about your shape. So we typically do, as you can see, sort of a pyramid shape or cone shape, where we do what's we call a thriller in the center, so something nice and tall. This is this guy right here. Okay. It's a type of Gara, which is actually a perennial around here. This pink one we sell as an annual. I don't know why. But we do have the white in the big perennial pots. So this is actually a Gara. It's going to get those nice deep pink flowers. It's already budding up. I'm very excited because it's going to go really nicely with these million bells, which are what we would call a spiller. They're going to mound up a little bit, but mostly they're going to spill over the sides. That's why it gets the name spiller. So you can see this has that nice tropical color. It's got a little pink, little orange, a little yellow in there. It's a great one. This one is called Rainbow Calypso Pearl. And then we are going to finish it off with a filler. So that's going to sort of fill in your spaces in between, the height difference between your thriller and your spiller. So you're looking for something that's a little bit more bushy. Now this one is actually a little misleading because it's called Angel Mist Spreading Light. That's what I went with on this one. It is a type of Angelonia, and we love our Angelonia around here because they bloom like crazy. The pollinators love them, and they are so easy. They are so low maintenance that you really don't have to do much of anything. Maybe not as low maintenance as the lantana. You do have to water them regularly, so. But they are a really great plant, and we have quite a few different types now. So this is one of the newer ones that we have. Its height only gets 4 to 10 inches. But it does get higher than that Calibrachoa, or at least as high. So it's going to fill in some of that space. And it's okay if it doesn't get taller than it, because as you can see, this Gara also bushes out a little bit at the bottom. So we're going to get a nice sort of cone shape to it that's full of lots of different textures and colors. And all of these do take full sun. So, now to get started, I always start right in the middle. Well, I don't know why. I just always do. I think it's just because it's easier than reaching over the other plants. I don't want to break the plants once they're in there. So I like to start in the center. I'm going to take some of this soil out, just give myself some room to work. Okay, I squeeze the bottom like this just to loosen up the roots. Slides right off. Okay, look at those roots. Look how healthy our plants are. Am I shameless? No, but I am going to take advantage of an opportunity, guys. So, when you're putting your plants into your pots, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to how they're situated. You can see that sometimes they're going to lean a certain way or be a little bit more full on one side, just how they grow. That's just how they grow as they get more exposure on some sides than others. So you just want to sort of twist and turn a little bit, make sure that it's just the way that you want it to be situated in that pot. It's still going to grow however it wants to grow, but at least you have it starting out the way that you want it to look. So I'm going to fill in a little bit around there, just loosen up this soil around the sides. Now, always pay attention to the plants that you're using too. If some of them are more sensitive to being too deep into the soil, for the most part, you want to sort of match, maybe with an extra 1/8 inch of soil over where the pot comes, or over where the soil already is covering the roots. But there are some plants that you want to be really careful and just sort of barely cover them. Gar is not one of those. I'm not too worried. They're pretty tough. They can survive my yard. They're pretty tough, which you know if you follow me. All right, so we're going to make another space in here. And so when I'm laying these out, you can see here, you can do whatever kind of design you want. So you can change up, actually the other one I'm going to do a little bit of a different layout, so you'll get to see that. Most of our planters are a 360 view, so they're made to be seen from any side. They can be out on, so they're really great for porches and patios and decks in the garden, because you can put them anywhere and you're going to be able to get a great view of the colors and flowers from any angle. But you can do a planter faced. So in that case, we would put this tall guy in the back and then put our fillers and spillers around the front. So it gives it a back, even though it's a round pot. And that way you could put it up against a wall or a railing or something along those lines. But since we're doing a 360, because I want to match the one that we already did, I space my pots evenly, and we do 3s. So it's the rule of 3s: 1, 2, 3 fillers, 1, 2, 3 spillers, and 1 in the center. And so we space them evenly and just alternate around the outside. I also always save at least one of each of the tags and put them in the pots with when I'm done, because then when I go looking next year, I will hopefully at least know some of them. Some of them might have survived. It does not always work out that way. Sometimes the tags don't survive, or they get dumped out, or they've gotten cut back accidentally. Alright. And third. Angelonia. Okay, now with these guys, because you see they have a sort of triangle shape to them, I'm just sort of twisting and turning them a little bit as I'm putting them in here, just to get them to tip over that edge. They don't really curl or spill, but they do come out a little bit because they are spreading Angelonia. So I'm just sort of shifting them so that they look about even, just to give them some consistency and balance to the pot. Okay, same thing with these guys. You can see when you look at the top of one of these plants, while they are nice and even for the most part, they generally have a sort of triangular, sometimes square. Well, don't think too hard about it. It's a generally triangular shape. So we're going to put a little bit of this soil back in here just to tuck in everybody's roots. Nice and cozy. Okay. Stack my pots. And as you can see, I'm putting the excess onto this pot here. That's why it's always good to have an extra around. But I also have a giant wheelbarrow behind you. Ha-ha. So I will probably be putting the excess into there when I'm done. I have that wheelbarrow because later on we're going to be doing this super cool thing. It's a kids workshop where we are, you do have to pay for the cost of materials, but we're going to show kids how to make their own mini succulent garden. So it's super cool, very excited. We've got succulents for them. Nice and gentle, and so it spills over the side. And I don't put it too close to the edge because it'll get there. Sorry, switching topics. Back to the million bells. I don't put the any of the outside edge right up against the plastic of the pot. I like to leave at least a half an inch of space in between the side of the pot and the plant's roots, just to sort of protect those roots a little bit, give them a little bit of space to grow in that direction as well. The plant's going to get there. Don't worry about it. They'll get where they need to go. They'll get over the side. Okay, there, as you can see, nice and filled in. Sorry, I got distracted. But the kids' mini succulent garden, I did post a picture of it yesterday, so you'll be able to, so you can go and check out what they're going to be planting. But it's pretty cool. The cost covers the succulents, the pot, the soil, the gravel, and the little minis. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's at 2 o'clock. Now this, don't be fooled, is not actually Folgers. It is just what we store our NutriCoat in, since we buy it in bulk. So NutriCoat is just a time-release fertilizer. It's a coated time-release fertilizer. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. You can find all sorts of different brands. Osmocote is what we used to use. We use NutriCoat now. There's also a Miracle Grow version, I think. We've got a couple of them in the shop. Not a lot, but we do have a couple. And it's really nice. If you haven't used the time-release plant foods before, they're really nice if you are super busy and can't always remember to go out and do a liquid feed on your plants, because you can just sprinkle this around to the correct amounts according to the packaging, and it will continue to feed them for usually around 3 months. So it's really nice, especially again in the summer when you're trying to limit the amount of time that you're out in the heat of day, because we all know how hot it gets around it. So I just do about a tablespoon, and I've been doing this for a stupid number of years, so I have a pretty good idea. Yeah, it's probably closer to a half tablespoon. But the packaging on your food will tell you how much you should do on there. You should actually use a measuring spoon. Don't follow my direction. Don't follow my lead on that. Do as I say, not as I do. So now we have 2 matching, beautiful ornamental annual planters that I'm really excited to see this combination come out. I really am. I've never done this calibrachoa with the Gara. I've done it with a couple other things, but I am really excited. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And this, by the way, this one you can see looks nice and full and grown in already, that's only a week's difference. So in 1 week, it went from this to this. And that's still in the early spring. So definitely, oh no, I lost you. That's my fault. I shouldn't have been sliding pots. At least you got a nice view. That could have been worse. That is, if you have questions, post them here, comment them. I will get to them as soon as I can. I do have dirty hands, so I'm probably not going to be capturing the screen. But I do have another one for you if you want to stick around. It's really kind of cool. I'm excited about it. So I've been getting really excited about edible landscaping lately, and prioritizing plants that pull double duty. So not only do they look beautiful, and they add, they add words to your yard and garden. No, they add color and attraction and interest to everything, and give you a really beautiful space. But they are also edible. I'm a big fan of things that do more than one thing. I think that it makes them extra useful. Maybe that's just me. I feel like probably not. Don't you fall. Stay. So, this next planter I'm going to do is actually going to be an edible landscaping planter. Well, it's going to be an edible planter. Not that kind of edibles. Yeah, you know who you are. So, this is going to be different though. I'm starting out with these. Ooh, come here. These are a couple of the, come here, magnolia tendril peas. You can see the tendrils. They like to tie together. These are some that we grew from seed here. We do have some in the greenhouse. Very exciting. They're growing quite fast because, of course, they are an early crop, so they are more than ready to go. I'm hoping this guy's going to make it. That's why I put a buddy in with him. You see, got those roots going. So magnolia peas, if you've never seen them, my daughter is now obsessed with them, the older one, because they have not only a bicolored flower on them, so it's actually a light and dark pink flower, which is really pretty, and they vine like crazy. Of course, they're peas, but they have a purple pea pod. So the pea pod itself is purple, but the peas are green, and they're perfectly edible. So we actually plant them around our railing of our front step, and they vine up it like crazy. And so when we go out in the morning, when my daughter's waiting for me to catch up, she will sit there and pick pea pods off of the plants, and she thinks it's the coolest thing ever. And it is, it's pretty cool. So because these are viners and I don't actually have a trellis, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use some old sticks here, and I'm just going to make like a little mini teepee, which I actually think is really cool. Okay, and then yeah, I put it on my zipper so I wouldn't lose it. This is just a little twist tie that I'm going to put right here just to hold them together. And eventually it will need something taller to vine onto, absolutely. These guys can get quite tall, but they're also really adaptable. So you can, let's bring him back here. So you can swap that. Because these are just sticks, you can just untwist them, slide them out, and put something else in there for them. Or if you were doing this as a faced pot, you could put them up against something and it would climb up that. That might be a good idea. That'd probably be a really good idea. But I'm committed to this now, so we're doing it this way. FYI, over 80% of vines in the world wrap counterclockwise. So if you're wrapping vines, it makes it a lot easier on you and the plant if you wrap it, what did you say? Counterclockwise. Now these tendril peas, it's the tendrils that really grab on. So I'm wrapping them a little bit, but I'm really just sort of snugging them in there because the tendrils will grab on. I mean, this guy's already trying. They will just grab onto anything they can reach. What's cool is the tendrils are also edible too. So you can actually trim these right off and use them in salads and stir fries. You can use them as garnish. They're not bad. It adds a really interesting texture. I really grow them for the flowers and the peas, but even just growing, the tendrils add a really cool texture to it. So we're going to be very gentle with those because I always try to be a little extra careful with my seed babies. They make me nervous. Not for any reason, just because. If you've grown stuff from seed, you understand. So that's going to be my center, and then I've got these guys. These are our variegated Alaska nasturtium. I know I only did the one kind of nasturtium this year, guys. I had to start cutting back on stuff. There were so many things we were growing from seed, and I was running out of room. I might have done extra tomatoes this year. I know. I'm sorry. But I still got the Alaska nasturtiums, which has the variegated leaf. It's just starting to get the variegation now, so it's kind of hard to see. You don't really get the full effect, but that's a pretty good one, you can see. So it's like a white and green variegated, and the flowers themselves are mixed. So I have no idea what colors these are going to be. I just know that it's going to be lots of color. And if you've used nasturtiums before, then you know that they mound up very beautifully. They can spill over some, but really they get pretty tall. They can get like 10 to 12 inches tall. It's very deceptive, and they will bloom for the longest time. And every part of that plant, I don't know about the root, but all the stem, the leaves, the flowers, all of it is edible. So again, they're a really good one for garnish, salads, and stir fries. Do we eat a lot of these in my house? Yes we do. They have a sort of peppery taste. Also, fun fact, if you wait for the flowers to go to seed, they get these very hard round seeds, and you can actually pickle them and use them instead of capers. Just for those of you out there who like to pickle your own stuff. Yes, I am one of those. Yes, I am one of those people who likes to pickle my own things. I'm working on it. I'm not great. It's a learning process. It makes me very nervous. I don't know why. But in the meantime, I have my fresh green nasturtiums, and they're going to fill in beautifully and give me lots of different colors. Hopefully. I mean, we'll see. Alright. Now, see, I am doing a little bit different layout on this. I started to just do the 3. I started to do it again because I do it so often. But actually, this time, I'd forgotten. I'm going to do 4 of the nasturtiums. So 4 mounding. And let go. See, tendrils. They'll grab onto anything. Watch them. They're aggressive. So I'm going to shift these just a little bit. And again, this is one that we've grown from seeds, so I'm trying to be very gentle with them. They're still babies. Okay. 4. Okay, I probably should have gotten a bigger one than that. So another thing to keep an eye out for. Hey Tyler. I cannot see your comments right now. You're just gonna have to wait. Oh, shut up. So, when you're picking out your plants, also make sure that you're checking that they're all about the same size. This one should be a little bit bigger, but honestly, it's nasturtiums. They're going to grow real fast once they get started, so I'm not all that worried about it. I'm not going to stop this to go and pick out a different one. So that's really where we are. He'll be alright. He'll catch up. They were all planted at the same time. So, there's that guy. How was I going to do this? I had a plan at one point. So instead of doing it equal space 4s, that's right. This made sense yesterday when I planned it. I'm doing them a little bit closer together. And then for my spiller, I'm actually going to use mint. I know. You've heard the horror stories about mint. But if it's in a container, it's not that bad. If you let it touch the ground, it will come back. Peppermint, well, any of the mints are actually perennial here. So if you are looking to plant some herbaceous perennials, this is definitely one to do. Just beware, the stories are true. If you plant it in the ground, it will go crazy. It will come back and will take over. But that's true of anything in the mint family. So also keep an eye out for things like lemon balm. Yeah, I have a lot of lemon balm. But it's great for tea, so I'm good. It's alright. Plus it's good for bugs. Now this, I went with the peppermint over like our apple mint or spearmint or chocolate mint. We have a lot of mint. Purely because it has this darker stem. I don't know if you can really tell on there, but it has a little bit darker, slightly purpley stem, which I think is going to look really cool with the purple pea pods that come up in the center. Yeah. See the difference between the ones that we started so long ago and the ones my seed babies? Snug in there. Okay. Tuck you in and tuck you in. Alright. Now, the mint, of course, you can chop that sucker back just as hard as you want. As long as there's still roots left, it's going to come back. So feel free to trim those up, trim them down, whatever you need to do to get them to fit where you want. But that's why I'm only doing 2 of them. I'm trying to give my nasturtiums a little bit of space here because they're already older than my nasturtiums. So they need a, so I wanted to give them their own extra room so they don't completely take over right away. They're going to take over, but the nasturtiums should be nice and big to hold their own there for a while. All of those are $8.50, all of our perennials. Mm-hmm. Yep. 1 gallon perennials she was asking about. Okay, so here's my other peppermint. I'm loosening up this soil a little bit. That's all I'm doing, just so that I can squish the roots just a little bit, because I want to try and, like I said, give the little guys as much space as possible to start off with. Goodness. Mint. Alright. Oh, smells so good though. Alright. So it doesn't look like much now, but I promise you that once it grows in, this guy's going to be gorgeous, and you can eat every bit of it. Ta-da! Alright. There's the extra soil. Alright guys, there's, oh, see, I almost forgot my tags for my other pot, which I would have regretted. And same with this one, we've got nasturtium, we've got mint, and we've got magnolia pea. I'm going to put all those right in here. Now the only thing left is to water these guys in. I don't have a wand out here. I'm out in the center under the trees here, obviously, because that's where we're doing a lot of our fun stuff for Garden Day. Yeah, there's another reminder. You got it. Make sure that you come out and see us for Garden Day today. We've got a lot of great stuff going on. Almost all of it's free. There's a lot of stuff for kids. There's a lot of stuff for families. There's a lot of stuff for not kids and families. So definitely come by and visit with us today. And yeah, if not, then get out and get planting.